Now I invite Mr. M.J. Joseph, a father who dedicated his life for the rehabilitation of his son Suhail. He will be sharing his experience as a father who took OT services for his son. I invite you, sir, onto the stage.
It's down, up and down. Good afternoon. I'm here to share a journey of my son and myself. I've been listening to you all from about 9:30, 10 o'clock. You'll see the other side of the midnight now. That is Suhail. He's my son, born in 1991. Life started pretty normal, but soon he started losing milestones, gradual. Then seizures came in, and they were severe. Most of his childhood and, in fact, even his adolescence years were affected by seizures. Few years back, we did a genetic testing for Suhail, and we discovered that he suffers from Angelman syndrome. Google, you'll get all the details about that. Now he's 32. Fortunately, he's free of all his seizures. He has some amount of tapered down medication, otherwise he's fine. My journey with him, real serious journey, started in 2006 when I retired from my job. I had more time to focus on him. I was in Bombay when I retired. I was quite fascinated with Bombay from the point of view of one particular school that offered a student-teacher ratio of 1:1. I was quite fascinated, and I said I'll explore that. So we stayed on there. The schooling went on well, and we also explored other therapies. Then we came across a gentleman called Aslam. I don't know, he is a freelance occupational therapist. He had sessions every day from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock every morning, intense sessions. But the interesting thing was, he had the sessions in a park with some the jungle gym equipments. This fascinated me. In fact, his innovative use of the jungle gym opened my eyes to a whole new approach to developmental activities for Suhail, and you'll see that as we progress. I had to move to Bangalore. Not that I was unhappy with Bombay, but Bombay housing was becoming very, very expensive. So went down south, we came to Bangalore. The problem we faced in Bangalore was quite different. We put him into a school, and they quietly put him into what they call a home school, which is basically a daycare. I have been reading about brain plasticity. I said, So a bit of a contradiction here. My go-to place was CMC Vellore because they are the people who fix Suhail's seizures. And we also were involved with their Nambikinilayam, where the developmental center, child developmental center. So we went there. They were quite optimistic, and they packaged a beautiful set of exercises for us, and that we could do it from home. We spent a few days there so that they trained. We came to Bangalore, and then I identified a support group, about 10 boys who were in the age group of 10 to 15. I spoke to a school nearby, and they allowed us to use that school for these exercises. Now, what happened was we had these exercises in the evening every day for about an hour and a half. And then we moved to the parks, and parks with jungle gym. So we started doing some of these exercises. Now I'll show you one slide here. I did this warming up exercise just like normally we do that. I did it specifically because I wanted Suhail to be with the group. He has a tendency to be moving away. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this equipment, the balancing board. I saw this in CMC Vellore. I got the measurements, made this one in Bangalore, and we started using it. But we started using it very innovatively. We got Suhail onto the board, and we had these boys around him, and they would tease him. And what would Suhail do? He would try to kind of catch them, and he would lose his balance. And that was really the best way I could get him to move on the board. That worked out well for him. Suhail had very, very severe problem with his balance. He used to fall often. Now, this is the jungle gym. I told you, after the practice, we used to go to the parks and do these jungle gym exercises. Look at him there, and look at him. These exercises were easy to do because I had the help of these these boys. Not only that, look at him climbing trees. Not huge trees, but small trees. Yes. Now, look at the walking on the ledge. That ledge is about a foot. Suhail had problem walking on that initially. But with a group, he made an effort and we helped him. Now we moved on to narrower ledges. This is about 4 to 5 inches. He needed support with that. And then we did some side walking. Then it didn't really kind of stop with these exercises. We also had eating sessions. So it was a kind of a picnic. Even these eating sessions turned out to be therapeutic in the sense that Suhail is our only son. He's spoiled to a great extent because he's got all these problems. But now with these children, we try to say that, fine, we follow an order. For example, if you open a packet of chips, you can't grab it. Everybody shares the chips. It goes around. So that way it was quite interesting. There were celebrations with those boys in their house, wherever they stayed there. Suhail celebrated his birthday always with them. We had good meals. We enjoyed. Now, my takeout from there is, the these exercises, the transformed exercises into enjoyable bonding experiences. And that is shaping Suhail's progress, confidence, and positive outlook. Suhail began to really open up. He kind of integrated, and that is basically what we benefited from that experience in Bangalore. In fact, I am very happy with the kind of ecosystem that we produced in Bangalore for Suhail learning, and that is actually his springboard. In 2014, we had to come to Trivandrum for personal reasons. I tried to create an ecosystem similar to that in Trivandrum, but I couldn't really do it. It took me quite some time to get used to or find what is actually the most relevant thing for Suhail. In the meantime, we did a lot of things like beach walking, we did Ayurveda, we explored music therapy. Then finally, we came across Akhila from the PMR section of the medical college in Trivandrum. She was absolutely thorough, very good, very professional. She made sure that Suhail started off every day with a session, and we had a very good center. In a quiet place she would find for Suhail so that he would be free of distractions, and he went through the sessions very well. Suhail progressed there. Then as time went by, the COVID came in, and we had to stop that one. Akhila helped us to form a program for him at home. We continue that even today, that home program. She is our go-to person. We also use the YouTube these days to help us in identifying the different exercises for his development. Now, when we're doing all these things, it's important for us to understand what the subject is all about. Suhail is non-verbal. He cannot communicate, right? So what is he? So many problems I had. In fact, till he was about 10 or 12, I used to say, I don't think he understands anything, right? And, but I was taking him for a walk and all those things. One day in the lift in Bombay, I used to call him Chutubai. I said, Chutubai. I said, who is Chutubai? And to my surprise, he said like this. Now that's basically when it opened my eyes and said that, look, he understands really everything. No, that was the beginning of trying to understand these children. When we came to Bangalore, there is a family, I don't know if you know of a guy called Tito Mukhopadhyay. Yeah. Now this Tito Mukhopadhyay is autistic. His mother taught him or tried to teach him a whole lot of things, but he was a very intelligent boy, and he is a poet. He wants to express himself. He had a huge problem in writing, but she managed to kind of get him to write. So my wife visited Tito. I asked her to ask him, what's his problem? You all say autism. What is autism? No, everybody defines autism in their own way. But, Tito defined it beautifully. He said, I am locked in my body. And that is I quite agree, all these boys. Suhail is locked in his body. Now, that experience was beautiful, and Suhail actually showed that thing. He is very fond of chocolates. Give him a chocolate always comes wrapped. Who doesn't like chocolates? You give him a chocolate, he'll put it in his mouth, he'll be chewing. Slowly we showed him how to open the wrapping. It took us quite some time. Quite some time means maybe a few months, few years. When he opened that, you should see the joy in his face. Now, that I think is what we call unlocking. So, what I really want to say is small changes, or let me put it this way. These small changes in the last few years has given us so much confidence. You see that Suhail there. We tried rappelling with him. I could never imagine that is possible. Yeah, okay. So his horse riding, or that's exactly what our hope is. That he will discover his passion and live his full life. In all this, what I really want to say is, where are you all? I think, you are the agents of change. You are the people who you create the magic, bring happiness, and bring hope. I couldn't really describe you any better than saying that you are the merchants of hope. You are hope merchants. Thank you.
I invite Dr. Joseph Sani to kindly felicitate the guest.